Okay, now that your test is over, this is me getting into stuff from second semester. Because the more we work on it now, then the less hard it is when we come back from Christmas break. It'll just be easy. Okay. First thing I want you to do is something that seems rather pointless here. I want you to take these two equations, y equals x minus 2 and y equals negative 2 times x plus 7. Graph each equation on the same coordinate plane. And then they're going to cross at a point. And then where they cross will tell you what x and y are equal. And yeah, people are like, well, how do you solve for x and y? No, when they give you two equations, it is possible to find the direct number x's and the direct number y's. So I'm going to take this y equals x minus 2 and simply graph it. So do I have the y out front by itself? Sure I do. And there's no fraction involved, so I can just insert 0, 1, and 2. You can also do the slope y-intercept. The slope would be 1 over 1, and then negative 2 would be my y-intercept. Okay, so if I put 0 in, 0 minus 2 is negative 2. 1 minus 2 is negative 1, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So I graph those 3 points, so 0, negative 2. Okay. 1, negative 1, I go right 1, down 1. And then 2, 0, I go right 2, and then right there. Now, you are going to need a ruler for this, so you need to take your ruler and make sure the line gets graphed straight. So I'm going to have to set my camera down and make sure I get the line straight. You should be graphing the line with your ruler. And please make the line as straight as possible. And it should go as long as it possibly can. I don't even really care if you put arrows because it's not going to really matter for what I'm trying to do here. Okay, now I need to take the second equation, y equals negative 2 times x plus 7, and then graph it. Again, the y is by itself. If you choose slope y-intercept, which a few of you do, the slope would be negative 2 over 1, and the y-intercept would be 7. So you go up 7, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. But the majority of you prefer the 3 inputs for x. So I'm going to go 0, 1, and 2 since there's no fraction. So I take negative 2 times 0 plus 7, that's 7. Negative 2 times 1 plus 7 is 5, and then this is going to give me 3. So graph this on the same plane, so 0, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 5 is right here. And then 2, 3 is right here. Okay, now graph that line. As straight as possible. Okay, as straight as possible. Now, what point is on both these lines? Well, probably the point where they cross. Okay, so you need to mark that and circle it. Okay, so now I can tell what x equals and what y equals. So here's the middle, and I'm 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares to the right. So x is 3. And then I'm 1 square up. So y equals 1, positive 1. So there it is. Because if you put 3 in for x, 3 minus 2 is 1, which y is 1. And then negative 2 times 3 is negative 6 plus 7 is 1. Okay, so that's going to be kind of what you're going to do tomorrow. Okay, now let's go to the back side. We have 2 times x plus 4 times y equals 12, and then we have x plus y equals 2. I want you to graph those equations on the same plane and see where they cross. Okay, so this is me graphing the 2 times x plus 4 times y equals 12. Now, this is not in slope-intercept form. The y is not by itself, so the best way to graph it is to do the 0 for x, 0 for y. By the way, the appropriate terminology for that is finding the x and y intercepts of the graph. But I always just abbreviate it, say 0 for x, 0 for y. Okay, so I'm going to copy that down twice. So x is 0, we can get rid of 2x, and then y, we can get rid of that. Okay, so now I just divide by 4, and that gives me a 3. Now I divide by 2, and that gives me 6. So 0, 3, and then 6, 0. Okay, now take your ruler, connect those points. Draw the line as straight as possible, because you're never going to be able to tell accurately where it crosses unless you make a straight line. Okay, now let's graph this equation. X plus y equals 2. So again, the y, it's not in slope-intercept form. The y is not by itself, so we need the 0 for x, 0 for y technique. So x plus y equals 2. X plus y equals 2. Some of you are like, well, do we put 1s in front? No, why? What's the point? Because if I get rid of x here, y equals 2. I don't even need to divide. And if I get rid of y here, x equals 2. So 0, 2. And then 2, 0. Okay, and then connect those as best you can. And then I mark where they cross. It's about right here, okay? Now, granted, that's a little bit out in the middle of nowhere. Just estimate where it's at. So as you can see, we're about 1, 2, and then it's closer to 2 than it is to 3. So I'm going to say that my x is -2. And then it looks like we're 1, 2, 3, 4 units up. Okay, so y is going to be 4. Okay, so that's me solving for it. Okay, it's not real fun, but I didn't like load up, and there's no assignment. You just need to make sure you know what you're doing with that.